So let's get right to it with our guest, Congressman Dan Meuser, representative for Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District. And he is on social media at Rep Meuser. And he joins us now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHG. Hey, Congressman, how are you?
Hey, Rich. Outstanding to be with you, and go Phils. Love what we're seeing there. Let's keep it going.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So talk to me about this shutdown that's still going on right now. I mean, I can't believe it. And some of your colleagues had some heated exchanges in the hallway. Hakeem Jeffries continues to embarrass himself. And you said it. He continues to embarrass himself and all Democrats who voted to shut the government down.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hakeem really embarrassed himself there. You know, he dodged every question. He actually said to Mike Lawler, and Lawler didn't take any of it, told him to shut his mouth. He's a rude guy. He's not very bright. I don't dislike many people in Congress, R or D, and that's the truth. But when someone 99.9% of the time states falsehoods deliberately, it's impossible to like that individual or trust their leadership. Look, there's no rationale to this Democrat-led, Schumer-led, Hakeem Jeffries-led shutdown. There's no truth to it. Even Chris Cuomo said, folks, what the Democrats are saying simply isn't true. There's no logic. There's nothing gained. There's only pain, and there truly is pain. And now you got Schumer, smiling in that evil, sinister face that he has. And, I hate to have to say that, but it's true. And his actions are even worse. Stating how wonderful this is for them politically, when meanwhile, no, the polls are saying just the opposite. 67, 68, 70% of America says, no, the D's did this. And you don't need to know math. You don't even need to know arithmetic, okay? They had one yes vote in the House. All the rest of the Democrats voted to shut it down. And just an hour ago, we had, 45 vote no. 3 Democrats only voted yes to open the government, and you need 60. The other thing Hakeem keeps saying, and Schumer, the Republicans are in charge. Republicans are in charge. No, we need 60 votes. We have 53 senators. We need 7 Democrats, only 7, to pass this clean CR, which is outrageous in itself. So. Look, it's very difficult to think like a neoliberal, also known as the lunatic left, and everything that they do is about politics, honestly, not in the interest of what's best for America.
Congressman Dan Meuser, the president said today, he said, look, if they don't reopen the government, I'm going to start cutting things and I'm going to cut Democrat programs because that's the way it's going to be. And, a lot of you're not going to like this stuff. I mean, that's what he was saying. And, actually, we have that. I'm going to play that so you can hear it from the cabinet meeting today. Cut 25.
Making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense. But we're only cutting Democrat programs. But we're going to start that. And we have Russell. We can talk to you about it if he wants to. But we'll be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans, frankly, because that's the way it works. They wanted to do this. So we'll give them a little taste of their own medicine.
Now, Congressman, that is, they're making this. They're making their own bed here.
Yes, they are. And that's President Trump telling it like it is. He's not going to say one thing and do another. He's going to say what he's going to do, and then he's going to do it. And and most of those programs have forget about return on investment. They're just wasteful, big government programs that really do no good for anyone, except maybe the tabloids perceive those as favorable for the Democrat base. So look, and meanwhile we're running $1.6 trillion deficit. So let's go. Let's find an opportunity during this shutdown. And Rich, look, you know what? You've written some great things, by the way. Some of your op-eds lately, and even the one outside of this subject that you wrote on the communist flag flying over.
Thanks,
City Hall in Philadelphia. Really, really excellent op-eds and your podcast and everything. But you go on and explain how they want to gut the BBB. I mean, that's just crazy. On Squawk Box just this morning, Jeffries was on again, And Joe Kiernan there said that would be like asking if the Republicans had said to you, we're going to shut down the government unless you completely gut and renege and retract the Biden rescue plan, which certainly we wish they would do, or the ridiculous Inflation Reduction Act. My point is that you don't do that. That's the government that wins the election, sets the agenda, sets the policy. The minorities party needs to try to enhance it and negotiate what they can, but to ask for it to be retracted and do everything that they want or else is blackmail, and it's it's certainly holding the American people and the American government hostage.
Congressman Dan Meuser is with us. Let's talk about another kind of hostage, and this is some really great news. And this is the peace deal that was announced last night, where the president announced a peace deal between Israel and Gaza, phase 1, and the hostages will be coming home hopefully this Sunday or Monday. Congressman Dan Meuser, your thoughts on this historic resolution?
Yeah, it's incredible, right? Here you got President Trump. We're in a shutdown, and meanwhile, he's making historic peace plans. Hey, by the way, to back up for a second, we're hearing that many Democrat members of the House are pleading with Mike Johnson to have another House vote so they can, in fact, vote yes on the bill because they're catching so much hell back in their districts while we're not in session. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That was a good one. I'm glad to hear that.
All right.
But, yeah,
excellent.
look,
That's a big development from Congressman Dan Meuser letting us know that. Excellent. Thank you for that breaking news here on the show. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, this is incredible, right? I mean, this battle's been going on for 2 years. I mean, 2 years ago, a couple of days, October 7th, Israel was savagely attacked, and they didn't want those attackers to do it again. So they've been doing everything they can to literally wipe out Hamas in the manner that that President Trump in the past wiped out ISIS and made all the others who wanted to live hide and run. So look, this is a continuation in many ways. This peace plan, it's just so smart and strategic of the president, the plan that was laid out. And certainly those on his staff that were working with him, including Marco Rubio. But this is, in a way, an extension of the Abraham Accords. I mean, building off of that, which, by the way, the Biden administration, the Abraham Accords, you never heard about it. They shelved it.
Yeah, right.
They put it to the side, which caused all this conflict in the first place. So, and what's really amazing about this, too, it's a multinational agreement. Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, Jordan. I mean, it's outstanding. It's not just a recognition of Israel; it's a recognition of peace and stating that they're not going to allow Israel to be savagely invaded like this in the future. So we're going to see the hostages return. The president just put out, it looks like it'll be Monday. He hopes to be there, which is also incredible. And look, he's just a man. He's getting the job done. He's doing what the American people hoped he would do, and he's exceeding that.
It's great that we're going to have peace, Congressman Dan Meuser. It's a great way to go into the weekend, and I know just so many people today are happy and relieved, and it's really good news. But to go back to what you said regarding the Democrats now want to call the House back into session so they can have a vote because they are getting the blame for this shutdown.
Right, and of course Jeffries is trying to shut down that message, and but it's coming through. So we'll see what happens there. Look, we want to get back to work. I mean, I got committee meetings we're doing over Zoom. We had a big financial services committee retreat. We called it for about 5 hours yesterday. We had Scott Bessent on the line with us, and he's fantastic, or on Zoom with us. He's fantastic. Look, there's so much work to be done in the district, but this thing needs to end. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? Capitol Police won't be getting paid as of tomorrow. If this isn't resolved by Monday, October 13th, the military come October 15th won't be getting paid. Telehealth has been defunded because it hasn't been extended. So it's hurting people who rely upon telehealth. Flood insurance is not available. Air travel is being disrupted. I mean, the list goes on of the damage that they're causing, and for what? For only two reasons. One, Schumer's political life, which is, who cares? He's been in Congress in one way, shape, or form for over 40 years. And Jeffries just wants to stop the successes of the Trump and Republican agenda. That's it. Those are the reasons, Philadelphia, for the shutdown and for the negative effects really sad effects that are being caused.
Congressman Dan Meuser, always a pleasure. Follow him on social media at Rep Meuser. Thanks, my friend.
Rich, you're the best. Appreciate the opportunity. Have a great afternoon.
Anytime. You too.